numbers. So the factorial numbers are numbers which are multiplied by their previous numbers. Like once you have given the number of 3, so 3 is basically multiplied by 3 multiplied 2 multiplied by 1. So the number which comes after the multiplication is actually the factorial. Like 3 is the factorial of 3 is 6. The factorial of 4 should be like 1 multiply 2 multiply 3 multiply 4. It means that all the values till that numbers, all the numbers starting from 1 till that number should be multiplied in order to get the factorial. This is actually the definition of factorial. We will see here this in the code. How can we find out the factorial numbers in the code? So first of all, consider, let's suppose we have any number. We will assume that the numbers which you are going to find out the factorial, so it should be given by user. So once the number should be given by user, we are going to give it, considering it as input. So num equals to integer, considering that number should be integer, input, enter any number which you are going to find out the factorial. After that, you are going to initialize the factorial as 1, because we are going to store the values one by one by using iteration into the factorial. So due to the iteration process, you have to first initialize the variable which is factorial. So considering that, we are going to initialize factorial by 1, because if we give 0 here, so the every time iteration will give 0. So it is necessary that you should start the factorial with 1. Factorial equals to 1. Now we are going to use for loop for I in range. And what range you are going to use? 1 till that number. As we have mentioned earlier, that this range, this number which is after comma, this gives the final range, final number. So once you have given the number, you are going to use, let's suppose you are going to print, you are going to give the range till 5 numbers. So it is necessary that you will give 6, because the number 6 is going to exclude till 5 number you are going to print your numbers. So once you are going to your destination number, you have to give one number ahead in the last range. So that is why once I want to print my number till the given number, I have to give the number till one extra, which is num plus 1. Because when I enter num plus 1, it is understood that my iteration should be going to proceed till that number, because num plus 1 is going to exclude. So the number prior num plus 1, which is num, is going to include. I hope you understand here like this. Okay. Now proceed. Factorial equals to factorial multiplied by 1. Factorial multiplied by I. What is going on here? We will see print factorial comma fact. So do you wonder what is going on here? So we will see it here in the example. Like, let's suppose this is our factorial which we have initialized as 1, factorial equals to 1. Now let's suppose I have entered 5. I have entered num 5. So I want to find out the factorial of 5. So that num is actually behaving like iterations. So the iteration, as I have entered 5, so the iteration process will be going to proceed till 5 numbers. So you have to understand that the numbers you are actually giving is actually the iteration, and that iteration is going to be multiplied by this factorial. So let's suppose I have entered 5 numbers. So it means that my iteration is going to be printed till 5 times. So when my iteration is 1, the factorial stored initially is 1. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. Now the value of factorial is updated as 1 as it is initially updated. Now when the iteration is 2, so the value of factorial, which is 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. Now the value of factorial is going to be updated as it is going to be proceed with 2. Now the value of factorial is 2, and the number of iteration this time is 3. So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. Now what happened here? the value of factorial is going to be updated time by time as the number of iteration is going to be proceed. So now the value of iteration becomes 6 from 2 till 6 because the value updated multiplied by iteration is 6, which is stored now in factorial. Now the iteration number is 4, so 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. It is printed here in factorial. Now considering that we have entered number 5, so our iteration is going to be print till 5 because we have entered our number which is 5. 24 multiplied by 5, what will be the answer should be printed in the factorial, and soon and once our destination number occurred, our loop will be end. Let's suppose I have entered num here. So once the loop starting from 1 sense that the number coming up is 5, it will end the loop and the loop will come out, and what number should be here after multiplying the last number. Let's suppose our last range is 5, so the number will print like 1 multiply factorial, 2 multiply factorial, 3 multiply factorial, 4 multiply factorial, and 5 multiply factorial. Once the I is 5, iteration is 5, the iteration loop will be completed, and what value should was stored in the factorial will be going to print here. So it depends on iteration what number we are going to give here. Once the destination number occurred, the loop will be ended and the value stored will be printed as it happens in the factorial of 5. I hope you understand this. Now let's run out. Let's suppose I want to find out the number factorial of 5. Once I entered, the our factorial becomes 120, as we have seen here, like the factorial of 5 is 120. So I hope you understand this trick and how our factorial is going to be printed and how we can find out the factorial of numbers. In this manner we can going to find out the numbers. It totally depend upon the iterations. I hope you understand this concept.